Welcome to the intersection of technology, cybersecurity, and society. Welcome to ITSP Magazine Podcast Radio. Join us on our journey into the past, the present, and the future as we explore the relationship between technology and humanity. Together, we are going to find out what it means to live in a society where everything is connected, and the only constant is change. Knowledge is power, now more than ever.
John.
There's a group of folks that I have tremendous respect for, and I don't know that they get the respect in results from society that they deserve on a daily basis. I think they serve, in any country, they serve their country to keep the peace and to help society grow and be a positive place to live. And when they're done serving, they're kind of left on their own, to their own devices, to try to figure out what to do next. And of course, I'm speaking to the folks, men, women, otherwise, that serve in the armed forces to help us.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you. They do a lot. They do it with passion. They sacrifice their life, their family, and then we owe them definitely much more respect. And I think the best way to do this, it's not just, we're not talking about giving stuff. We're talking about giving opportunities. Help them to transition from a military life where they know exactly what they need to do in every single moment that they are engaged, or when they're training, or when they're working in that environment, but then they come back and then what? So there is a lot of things. There is a lot of association, organization that are helping. Each one goes its own way. What we're talking about here today, it's about hacking. We're going to hack for the troops.
Exactly.
And that's great.
It is. And this is part of a bigger mission and initiative with Tech for Troops, who's led by our guest, and I believe founded as well by our guest, Mark Casper. Thanks, Mark, for joining us today for this conversation.
Absolutely, Sean and Marco. Thanks for having me. And real quick, I didn't found it, but I took it over in October 2016. All
right. Sounds like from what we were talking about before starting, you're committed. So we're just gonna believe you found it. It was probably in your heart anyway, right?
True. Very true.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe how you got to take this over. And then we'll dig in more into this, what you do and what the organization do and what the event coming up, which is why we're here to promote that. So start with you.
Sure. So I'm a Marine. I served from 83 to 87. Met my lovely wife there. She's my soulmate and my best friend. And we're still married 36 years, November 29th of this year. And when I got out of the Marine Corps, I didn't know what to do. And I bounced around from job to job, got my degree in 97 from Virginia Commonwealth University. And that's when I started my corporate life, project manager, IT, and all those kinds of things. And then in 2015, December 2015, I was invited into Tech for Troops. At the time, it was called Tech for Troops Project, to be on the board. And then with that, I came in the door and I literally knew I was home. My head exploded, like serious. It was like the cartoons, Bugs Bunny getting whacked with a hammer, right? Just boom. And we had 750 square feet. And the founder looked at me and asked me if I wanted to be the executive director. I was like, yeah, I do. And I got to go home to my wife that night and say, hey, babe, I'm going to start running a nonprofit now. And she's like, what? Right? Because I went from making good money to not so good money. And with benefits and to no benefits. And yeah, I'm like, this is where I belong. And she's like, if that's what you're meant to do, that's what you're meant to do. So yeah, it's in my heart to be here.
It's great.
That's really cool. And I don't know, I think it was 5 years ago now, the Hack for Troops event came to be. Is that correct?
It did. Yep. So
tell us about that. How did that get started?
So there were 4 young men who were volunteers with us. 2 of them were in high school, 2 of them out of school in college, and all passionate about the veteran community and supporting vets. And they're all in IT, they're all in cybersecurity. All 4 of them eventually graduated from the Cisco Networking Academy in Chesterfield. So they had already that in their heart, and they said, hey, let's put on a hackathon, right? Just do Hack for Troops. And quite honestly, I never heard of it before, because I wasn't in cybersecurity at that time. Still not really. And then we had our first event in 2017, November, about Veterans Day, and we had 68 competitors. And I thought that was just a bomb, right? It was a lot of fun. We had a flag. We had the national anthem sung. We had American flags and all the flags from DOD, Army, Air Force, Navy, etc. around. We had plenty of food. We had plenty of space, and the kids had a great time. What we did is we took gifts or awards, I should say, of servers and routers and switches and computers, and those were the gifts, because the stuff that we get in, we refurbish and we give out. And then the next year it grew from 68 to 103 butts and seats. And then the year after, it went to 133 butts and seats. And then last year, the lost year is what I call it because of COVID, we went completely online around the world, and we had almost 700 competitors. And it just blew us away how big that was.
Yeah, and this is
something we talk about quite a bit, is when you open it up online, you kind of remove the travel barrier and perhaps bring more people to join you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you pretty much took that away from me, as I was going to say the exact same thing, because, and I love that we are there. I mean, we have experienced it with conference all over the world. I mean, we haven't gone on a plane in a while, but we're looking forward to start doing that.
Yep.
But we believe something has changed, something has clicked, where we realize that, the in-person is important, but we can open the door to more. So there's probably going to be more of a hybrid. But the truth is, the more people you involve, even in other part of the world, they're all going more or less through the same thing we're going through. And I want to touch on the mission that you guys have, which is bridging the digital divide. We talked a lot about that in education. We talk about that, in a lot of different societal pockets, let's say. But in this particular case, what does it mean? Why is it so important that we provide this to the veterans?
So there's a transition period or right before a vet gets out. So they're active duty and they're transitioning out. And what a lot of us don't, I mean, I understand, but those who haven't served, when you're in a place, in a role, in a job where you are told where to go, what to do, who to see, how you can talk to them, right? Saluting, going to the bathroom, all of that stuff, your life is regimented, not down to the minute, but it's pretty close, right? Because you have a job to do, and everybody wears a green or a blue camouflage type uniform, right? Air Force is a little different. They have blue. But you're told what to do. And then when you're getting out, if you're not prepared to get out, it would be really easy to think, I got it. And this is what I did. When I got out of the Marine Corps, even though I was married and my wife was a school teacher, so making decent money, not great money, because school teachers don't make enough in my book. I thought I had the tiger by the tail. I really thought, hey, I'm a Marine. Everybody's going to want to hire me, right? All I got to do is show up and they're like, yes, we love you. And it doesn't work that way, because the civilian world is completely 180 degrees different than the military. So that's why I said earlier, I bounced. I went from job to job to job to job, not really because of me, but because I didn't understand. And it took me probably 20 years to figure out that at that point, it was me, right? I have a different mindset than most others do because I am military. I've always been military, watching John Wayne movies and all that kind of stuff growing up. And so I had to change my mindset to become more of a civilian, even long after I got out. So the men and women getting out today, if they don't understand that transition and they only have, say, 3 months of money in the bank, and they're thinking, well, I can find a job, and they don't find that job, and they go to work for making minimum wage, and they can't support their family, and we all know that what happens there, the money arguments happen, which is the biggest reason for divorce in the United States. That's when poverty occurs. And if we can get to them prior to that and help them with the gift of a computer, which they might not own and might not know how to use, then we can alleviate that and help them find a better job. That's what Tech for Troops is about. Go ahead, Sean.
No, that's fantastic, Mark. And I want to touch on the value of not just giving the physical device, but I presume also some of the education, and certainly the event helps support this thought of mentorship and education and learning. And I don't know, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you said you bounced around from job to job, and I'm wondering, do many who exit the military looking for that next thing in life, are they having a hard time finding the cultural fit, the purpose of mission, what they're doing matters more than just crunching numbers or running spreadsheets or taking phone calls for customers or whatever it's something they may find? The sense of purpose and understanding how what they do helps the greater good.
Absolutely. You hit the nail on the head, right? So it's service over self. Firefighters have it, policemen have it, nurses have it, doctors have it, the military has it, because that's what you're doing when you sign up for any of the teachers. Same thing, service over self. You're literally putting yourself at the back end of any parade. Everything, right? And that's just what it is. And the majority, 99.9%, don't really mind, right? Because that's who we are. When I took over Tech for Troops, it has become my passion. It's my life. I'm the face. I do all that stuff, but it's not for me. It's for them. It's for the vets. It's for the guy who came in, like I told you earlier, missing a leg, right? It's for the homeless vet who came in to get a computer from me today that I tested out, and he wants to become a behavioral health specialist and help people with drug and alcohol abuse. He's a Navy vet. He wants to give back, and he's like, this is what I need to do. And that's that service over self. And I call it soul satisfying, right? We all want to have that feeling of belonging. But when you're giving of yourself, it doesn't make a difference how much you give, because you know you belong, and people look to support you in that what you're doing. So, Sean, you're absolutely right. That's a great way of saying it.
I think it's so important to look at that way. It takes a certain kind of personality, right? You can't be selfish and go do what you guys done. And so this is why I think that when we talk to many veterans that are in the InfoSec world, I mean, they come in, they become, or they were already, threat intelligence analysts, right, computer science, whatever you want. But there is always that thing about, like you said, I got to do something that is going to help other people. And that's one thing that I think that we lack from the InfoSecurity perspective, is the fact that there is that hero, right? There is that, the John Wayne movie where the military comes and saves the day. You're still fighting some kind of a battle there, right? And protecting either is a business, an infrastructure, your country still. And so I think that's where the connection could be really strong. But tell me, what's the typical, step by step? I mean, you don't have to be detailed. I'm sure everybody has their own story, but how do you approach someone that comes in need of filling this gap from technology, and then from there learning about networking or whatever you're teaching, and then help them to get a job?
It's funny. So back here, there's a drill instructor hat. It was gifted to me. So I was not a drill instructor in the Marine Corps, but I approach it from a drill instructor mindset. When I'm in front of a class, like tomorrow morning, I'll be in front of a class of 5, and I'm going to come at it, because all of us who were in the military went through boot camp. Whether you were in the Air Force or the Marine Corps, doesn't make a difference. Everybody went through boot camp. We learned close to the exact same things. And I look at it as just another way for them on a daily basis to get up and do something better with their life. And the tool of a computer helps them to do that. That's where bridging that digital divide comes in. Because if you don't know how to use it, which is what we teach, then that brings them to that level closer of, I can restart my life. All right, I do have dreams. Now I have this tool that I can use to make my goals happen. And when that happens, when they see that and when they feel that, that's when there's success. That's when they have success. And all I ask of them is to come back and let me know. I don't ask for money. I don't ask for anything like that back from them. They get a great job at a great company making $1 million a year, sure. But what I'd love for them to do is just say thank you. And a lot of them come back and say thank you. I know this guy today who came in and got the computer, wants to be behavioral health and drug and alcohol counselor. He'll be back because he literally felt it in his heart with the gift of a computer. I firmly believe that.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the gift of the event, and it's multifaceted, because there's the capture the flag itself. So there's a competition there, and people want to participate and have fun. Perhaps some of the participants and competitors are there to learn as well, and to put some notches on their belt to help them prove to potential hiring manager that they have what it takes to do the job. But the event is also there to help raise funds so that you can actually do the rest of the stuff that you're talking about for the bigger tech for troops. So tell us a little bit about the event, the play, the watch, the support model that you have, and who's it for, who should get involved, and how do you want them to do that?
So we target anywhere from middle school students on up to professionals, right? And that's a hard thing to do because middle schoolers don't have that, and even high school students don't have that knowledge to be able to go in and compete challenges. But what we try to do is make enough of those challenges easy enough so they understand what reconnaissance is or digital forensics or whatever it is. And then we also have the Discord going so they can ask questions. Well, on challenge 201, what does this mean? And they can get suggestions to help. Not going to give them the answers, suggestions to help. But then there's the competitive challenges where the professionals are going to have a harder time. They may know it, but they may not know it, right? Because all of those different silos of challenges, now nobody knows everything. And it would be cool if we did, but none of us are AI and none of us are Skynet, right? None of us are. Not that we want to be Skynet, but you know what I mean.
No, I know.
and that's where the teams come in, right? So you can play as an individual, or you can play as a team of up to, I think it's 5. I'm pretty sure it's 5. And then see how you do against everybody else. Last year, we had 2 teams from West Point, the Army, and 1 team from the Naval Academy. And West Point, one of the West Point teams won. They kicked butt. So, yeah, we expect from all over the world players from, we had China, Korea, Mexico, the United Kingdom, and Canada last year that we could, the IP addresses told us where they were. But yeah, we expect to have the same thing this year.
That's very cool. And it kind of, when you think about the fact that it's also a team sport, because at this point it's becoming a sport. People love to watch this stuff. I mean, people watch video games being played, right? And we've had the honor actually 2 years ago to be in Las Vegas during one of the Capture the Flag event with Katsai and Jessica. And it was just cool to see this team compete, and one is an expert in something, one is another one. And again, it comes that military way of thinking, like you're not here alone. You have a role, and then you play with everybody else. So, but you can also play by not playing. I'm going to make a little thing here where you could watch and you can support, so that you can help this team to not only to succeed in the game, but also then your organization to succeed in your goal. So what is there for the people that come and watch, and to the people that are going to support in a way or another? like buying swag or something like that.
Oh,
Cool
no
mugs.
doubt.
I've seen the cool mugs, so I know
Yeah.
those.
Yeah. Wait. Have you seen the mug? And wait.
For the
One more.
podcast, we are actually looking
And the mouse
at
pad, right?
really cool stuff.
Hoodies and all that kind of stuff. So absolutely. The spectators, they'll see the competition going on and who's scoring and what's doing what. So if they have a favorite team, they'll be able to follow and say, you guys are beating West Point or whoever's competing this year. I think that's a cool thing because we all have favorite teams of some sport that we follow, and it's the same thing. If you like the Cowboys versus the Ravens, you're following, right? Or Fiorentina versus Juventus, then you're following, right?
Of course. You can't
but
be
then-
both.
Different branches of forces. Do you see
Yeah.
teams form around that, or
Well,
or
we did.
regional
That was
area?
last year. Yeah. Now last year we didn't segment it by region. That's actually a great idea for this year. But we did see the China and the Korea and the Mexico, the UK and the Canadian. But that's actually probably a really good idea that I need to take to my team and say, hey, let's segment now into regions, because that's the idea of Tech for Troops, right? And Hack for Troops doing it. My goal overall, my 10-year goal for Hack, is to go to cities in the United States, say Richmond versus Memphis, Richmond versus LA, Richmond versus, and then have competitions from cities to get to the next level, right? And then have the two top teams from whatever regions or however we set it up compete for that prize, whatever that prize is. So that's coming. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And I think we'll get a lot of support from the community out there, international community.
And I think I love that because you would involve the local businesses, the local community that maybe they wouldn't do that if they're not a large corporation on a national scale or global scale.
Yep.
But everybody's going to need the IT support, that person that knows how to use the computer, that knows how to set up a network and so forth in a small business environment. And so everybody wins by doing that. So I really love that idea.
Yeah, there's not a business out there. Back up. There's not a business out there that shouldn't be worried about cyber.
Yeah.
Right. I've been in places, and I literally, when I was doing my consulting and my own gig, I'd ask, "Oh, so who does your IT for you?" "Oh, Comcast." Say what? No, Comcast doesn't do your. Yes, they're keeping me safe. No, okay. If you want to be that ignorant, I'm never going to use my credit card here, right? Because. But anyway, you're right. It needs to be done across communities. Small businesses can get involved, and they can feel good about being with the big communities or the big businesses. So that's just one of my visions that I want to have for Hack, and take that to the next level. And eventually, who knows, maybe go international as well and have Germany and Italy versus United States type of thing, where students are competing across the platform.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk to me, Mark, about, because I'm envisioning teams from companies where they have a SOC or they have a threat team or whatever, and they have 4 people they want to send, and they want to invite a 5th person who doesn't have a job, and they want to find new talent to join their team with different perspective. Are you seeing any of that, or what are your thoughts on that whole idea?
Have not heard that one yet, honestly, Sean. That is awesome. That is
take a note,
right? Right. So the offer to connect businesses with in-need veterans who may or may not have that skill set, but might be able to bring an outside perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal. Thank you.
Yeah.
I can go home now.
I just saw, I think it was on Twitter, yesterday, maybe, like a little strip, a comic strip where it was presenting somebody that goes there to get a job, and he said, "No, do you have experience?" Like, "No." "Well, hopefully you'll get it when we're done with you. Here, you're hired." That's like heaven, right? It's the ideal situation. It's not like, I need somebody with an entry role, but with 5 years of experience and this many certification under their belt. So, and then we don't have a resources in the workforce for InfoSec.
It's funny you mentioned that, Marco, because that's what we do, right? So we hire in-need vets. I've hired homeless vets, Army vet living in his car, another guy that was in Section 8 housings, right? So they go to school. They go to one of those boot camp type schools, and then they come out and they can't find a job because they don't have the experience. We actually take them through the wiping process of a hard drive, operating systems, networking, customer service, logistics, you name it, interview skills, resume creation, the whole 9 yards. So we have about 11 different checkboxes that we go through. And then I start saying, okay, it's time for you to go. And I gently push him out the door into a job. So that guy that was living in his car, no lie, he's now making close to 6 figures down at the Knock at Fort Lee, right? Amazing. Another guy's at Markel making high 5 figures right now.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. And you described physically a few folks that clearly had some challenges in combat and looked different from when they left and now when they came back. You welcome them. Talk to me a little bit about the role of diversity in not just how you look or where you come from, just in overall as part of what you're focused on here.
You bet. So Tech for Troops is a completely non-partisan, completely diverse organization, nonprofit. I look at folks as you're a veteran and you're not a veteran. I call them my brothers and my sisters, no matter what branch they were in. Of course, we rag each other. The Army versus the Marines, of course, is always the best, but the Navy's there as well because we're the men's department of the Navy. Just to say, right? But I don't care who comes in. I've had a trans working for me. I don't really care. You do the job. You can help me out. You need a job. I'll help you out. Disabled vets. We actually have another partnership with another organization here in town where high functioning autistic, so far at this point, just boys or men coming in and they're helping us in the warehouse. And to me, it's that community involvement. If I can help somebody be better, then I'm doing something good. And, I'm not looking for jewels in the crown. I'm just looking to help people out. So absolutely, we're diverse. I don't really care. I don't care what your color is. I don't care any of that crap. Nobody can ever come back and tell me that because I hire anybody and I've had them in here.
Yeah, that's extremely important. And I think talking about diversity again, as we wrap here, there is a very diverse way that everybody can help. Everybody can be part of this. So as usual, we will have notes in the podcast with links and resources to the event. So we want to finish this conversation, which was very, very inspirational. So thank you very much for that. I really appreciate what you're doing, and we try to help as much as we can here at ITSP Magazine as well. But people can play, people can watch, and people can support in a lot of different ways. Either they're businesses that want to sponsor the event, or individual that wants to, again, get a really cool mug or a mouse pad or whatever you want.
A hoodie. I bought a lot of the swag already.
To be a hacker, you need to wear a hoodie. So that's the rule, right?
And when you can have that on the front of the hoodie, just that cool logo, that's the bomb. Cat's Eye did a beautiful job, and Jessica and Jeff and the whole team over there has been amazing. Just tell you that right now.
They are amazing to work with.
Yeah, we enjoy working with them as well. And I think the one piece we didn't really touch on is getting people to participate and reaching out to the community, right? So I'm going to make a call for anybody who's listening here to share this with a veteran that you know. And even if they aren't in need, they probably know somebody who is.
That's true.
So maybe make that connection wide and far. Get as many people to participate in the CTF Hack for Troops as possible. Which, by the way, October 30th, it's coming up. If you're listening to this after October 30th, stay tuned for Hack for Troops. And I'm sure the next year's event you can participate in, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, October 30th. Hopefully everybody jumps in, participates, spread the word, support the cause. Mark, I want to thank you for sharing the story with us.
Thank you, Sean.
Yep, and you're never late, Sean. You're right. You're never late, because what they are doing, it goes way above and beyond this particular event. They do this every day, and we can support every day. So thank you again so much.
Thank you.
And I hope you'll come back with us and give us some good news about how the event went.
I'd love to do that. Thank you, Marco. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate you having me.
We hope you enjoyed this conversation. If you learned something new and this story made you think, then share itspmagazine.com with your friends, family, and colleagues. If you represent a company and wish to associate your brand with our conversations, sponsor one or more of our podcast channels. We hope you will come back for more stories and follow us on our journey. You can always find us at the intersection of technology, cybersecurity, and society.